A quiet night in the city. But as the wind gently blows through the trees, something unusual arrives in Maya's mailbox. An unmarked package she never ordered. Maya walked to the mailbox, puzzled. The package was small, but the weight of it felt strange. She had no idea who it could be from. She placed the package on the table, her hands trembling slightly. As she tore open the wrapping, her curiosity began to grow, but so did the unease in her stomach. The doll inside was unexpected. Its strange smile seemed innocent at first, but something about its eyes made Maya's skin crawl. A feeling of unease washed over her. Something about the smile felt off. As the light caught its face, the doll seemed to smile wider, its eyes glinting strangely as if it were alive. Maya tried to shake off the feeling, but the doll's presence felt heavy. Was it just her imagination, or did it seem like the doll was staring back at her, almost with intent? Placing the doll on a shelf, Maya turned away. But when she looked back, she saw it. The doll's head had slightly tilted, as if it were watching her, waiting for her to notice. The room grew colder. Maya's breath caught in her throat. Had the doll really moved, or was it just a trick of the light? She tried to convince herself it was nothing. She couldn't ignore the feeling anymore. Slowly, she reached for the doll, but as her hand came close, she could have sworn its eyes were watching her, waiting. The doll's skin felt unnaturally cold. Its eyes pierced through her, unblinking. Maya could feel a strange energy radiating from it, as if the doll were more than just a toy. After a moment of hesitation, Maya placed the doll back on the shelf. As she turned to leave the room, she caught a glimpse of something. A shadow outside her window. Was it just her imagination, or was someone watching her? When Maya turned back to the doll, its smile had grown wider, as if it had been waiting for her attention. Maya shivered as the cold breeze grew stronger, but when she looked out the window, her heart skipped a beat. She could see the doll's reflection, its eerie smile staring back at her. Desperately trying to shake off the unease, Maya placed the doll on the kitchen counter. But when her back was turned, she heard it again. The sound of the doll shifting by itself. Something was wrong. Maya could feel it. The doll was no longer just a toy, it was something more. Something ancient. Something with its own dark purpose. And it was waiting for her to acknowledge it. Maya didn't think much of it. Just a random trinket. A gift she hadn't asked for. She placed it on her bedside table and went about her evening, unaware of the strange energy that had come with it. As the night wore on, Maya didn't notice the shift, but in the stillness of her room, something felt off. The smile on the doll's face seemed too wide, too unsettling. Maya tried to read, hoping to shake off the unease, but the doll, in her peripheral vision, seemed to change. Its smile stretched wider and the shadows in the room grew longer. Turning off the light, Maya settled into bed, unaware that something was watching. In the dark, the doll's face seemed to glow, its unsettling smile growing even wider in the absence of light. Maya's breathing slowed. The house fell silent, but her mind couldn't shake the feeling. The smile on the doll didn't seem static. It shifted like it was subtly changing with the dark. Maya thought she saw movement. She turned her head only to find the doll's smile, now impossibly wide, stretched across its face. Was it her imagination, or was the doll alive? Her heart raced. The smile wasn't just widening, it was shifting, changing, and the doll's eyes seemed to follow her, never leaving her sight, even in the dark. Maya sat up in bed, staring at the doll, her pulse quickening. The smile on the doll stretched too wide to be real, and for the first time that night, she felt the presence in the room. Determined to get rid of the unease, Maya reached for the doll, but as she did, the smile seemed to stretch further, too far, as if the doll's face was twisting into something unnatural. Maya stepped back, her breath shallow. The doll tilted its head, its smile too wide to ignore. A cold breeze swept through the room, and Maya knew that something far darker was at play. The smile twisted, growing impossibly wider. Maya couldn't look away, her mind racing, but her body frozen. The doll was no longer a toy, it had become something far more sinister. Maya grabbed the doll, but it wouldn't let go. Its smile stretched beyond reality. The room grew darker, and in the reflection of the window, she saw a shadow standing behind her. The whispers grew louder, circling her mind as the shadow behind her seemed to move. The smile on the doll's face became grotesque, and Maya knew she was not alone. The doll fell to the floor, but its smile never faded. It rolled as though moving on its own, and the whispering intensified, louder now, echoing through Maya's mind. Maya's sleep was restless, her mind plagued by a nightmare. She tossed and turned, trying to escape, but the terror had already gripped her. In the corner of the room, the doll waited. Maya's nightmare became real as the doll moved on its own. Its crooked smile twisted further, and its eyes glowed an ominous red, creeping toward her bed, inch by inch. The closer it got, the wider the smile became. Its eyes burned with a sinister glow. Maya tried to scream, but no sound escaped. She was paralyzed by fear, unable to move. Maya reached out in the dream, trying to touch the doll, but her hand trembled. The doll's hand extended toward hers, its grin now grotesque, mocking her every attempt to escape. Maya screamed in horror, but no sound came. The doll's face lurched forward, its mouth opening wide to reveal a deep, empty void. The room filled with eerie whispers, too soft to understand, but loud enough to torment. Maya jolted awake, heart pounding in her chest. But the terror didn't end with a dream. The doll, still sitting on the table, had an even wider smile, its eyes glowing softly in the dark. When Maya showed the doll to Anjali, something changed instantly. Anjali didn't smile. She didn't speak. Her face went pale as if she had just seen something she was never meant to see. Anjali stepped back, shaking her head slowly. Her voice trembled as she whispered, "Maya, this doll is cursed. You shouldn't have brought it into your house." She spoke carefully, almost afraid the doll could hear. "The Labubu doll brings misfortune," Anjali whispered. "People who keep it, they don't last long." And for the first time, Maya felt real fear. The house was silent as Maya returned to her room. Everything felt normal, too normal. But the air felt heavier, colder, as if something inside the house had changed while Anjali was gone. Maya stopped breathing. The doll was no longer where she left it. It sat upright on her bed, waiting, watching, and in that moment, she knew it had moved on its own. But the doll was not alone. Behind Maya, a shadow took shape, whispering in a language she couldn't understand. Cold fear crawled up her spine. Something had entered her room, and it was no longer pretending. Maya's hand shook as she reached for the doll. Every instinct told her to stop, but fear had frozen her body. The smile on the doll's face widened, as if it knew what was about to happen. In a single, horrifying moment, unseen hands grabbed her. Maya was ripped off her feet, dragged across the room, screaming, pulled by something she could not see, could not fight. The door slammed shut, sealing Maya in complete darkness. Her screams were swallowed by the walls. Outside, the doll sat silently on the bed, smiling wider than ever, enjoying the terror it had finally claimed. Anjali ran as fast as she could. The phone call had been short, broken, filled with panic. Something was wrong, and every step closer to Maya's house made the fear grow heavier. The moment Anjali stepped inside, she felt it. The air was thick, suffocating. It felt like the house itself was alive, watching her, breathing with her, waiting. And then she saw it. The doll sat there silently, but it had changed. Its smile was twisted, wrong. Anjali knew instantly whatever had taken Maya was still here. Desperate for answers, Anjali turned to the only place left, the internet. Page after page, she searched through forgotten corners, hoping to understand what the doll really was. What she found made her blood run cold. People who owned the doll had vanished. No bodies, no explanations. Just the same object appearing again and again, left behind. The truth was horrifying. The doll was never a toy. It was created for ancient rituals, offered to spirits in exchange for power. But every gift demanded a price. And the curse was never meant to end. As the curse fully awakened, Maya was violently thrown against the wall by something unseen. The force was powerful, deliberate, and merciless, no longer hiding its presence. The doll began to rise, floating effortlessly in the air. Dark shadows twisted around it, feeding it. This was no haunting anymore. The curse had been unleashed. Anjali screamed and ran toward her, but a wall of shadows stopped her cold. She could only watch as Maya was trapped, helpless. Whatever lived inside the doll had taken full control. Running out of time, Anjali reached for the forbidden book. Its pages felt heavy, ancient, then it stopped, on a ritual meant to banish what should never have been summoned. As Anjali began to read the incantation, the room reacted. The air screamed, candles bent sideways, and the doll began to move, not walking, but convulsing, as if something inside it was fighting to escape. The doll twisted in agony, its smile breaking apart into something monstrous. Whatever lived inside it was screaming now. And Anjali knew this ritual would end the curse, or take them all with it. For the first time, Maya felt it was over. The room was quiet. The air felt normal again. Whatever had been haunting her was gone, or so she believed. She walked toward the mirror, trying to convince herself it had all ended. But something felt wrong. The silence felt too perfect, too patient. Then she saw it. Not the doll, but its smile, reflected behind her, wider than before, watching, waiting. And in that moment, Maya understood the truth. The curse was never in the doll. It had chosen her. They didn't look back at first. They just needed to leave. To put distance between themselves and that house. To breathe again and pretend the nightmare was finally over. But the house was not empty. In the darkness of the window, a familiar face appeared, watching, smiling. The doll was gone, but its presence remained. As they walked away, a whisper followed them, soft, broken, impossible to understand. The smile faded into darkness, leaving behind one final truth. Some curses don't end, they only wait.